Hey, let's go answer the bell, huh?
If we just know what we're doing, work at it, and concentrate and do it.
Let's go, fellas! Go!
Brady takes the shotgun snap, pressure from his right, steps up, steps right.
All right, welcome into another episode of the Patriots podcast. I'm Sean with Ryan and JJ.
Hello.
What's up?
Thank you all for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe to our videos, rate and review, and subscribe to the podcast. Appreciate the support, especially as every week it seems to get worse here for the team that we're covering. Luckily, we get to talk about some other teams after we slog through the mess that was the 7-10 loss to the Giants. The number of people who have asked me, is playing Mac Jones is that like a tanking ploy? Are they only putting him out there to lose games? I mean, James, is that something?
I mean, like, when we about halfway through, basically after the first quarter of that game, that occurred to me, like maybe we're just like either Kraft is forcing Bill to put him in saying, I want him to still play, or maybe it's Bill's way of tanking. Just be like, all right, I mean, if we want to get a good pick, we'll just put this kid out there. But I feel like it goes against everything Bill, we know about Bill, but maybe he, I mean, it's pretty tough not to see the writing on the wall at this point. But this is his way of doing it. I can't say it definitively. That's not the case.
The easy
seems like the case.
Yeah. You can refute it just by saying we saw a half of Bailey Zappi and it wasn't any better.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have a good option.
I feel like it was a little better. I do feel like it was. I mean, he scored. He was able to put points on the board, and he almost got put points on the board a few times.
Well, I mean,
listen, it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. Could we have won that game if Bailey started? I think we could have got another touchdown or maybe 6 points.
Yeah, we probably won that game with Zappi.
Same with Indianapolis. Like Indianapolis, if Zappi was in there, you game planned around him. He can at least has confidence throwing the football. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He knows he can throw the football. Mac Jones goes down to the fucking red zone and turns into a pumpkin and just throws it to the first jersey he sees. Doesn't matter who it is. That's it. It's I feel bad for the kid, but
I mean, I don't think it's a big difference either way. I think they believe Mac is the more talented player. I think he is the more talented player.
Should be.
I mean, his mind is just totally scrambled. That pick to Okereke,
they're saying now. Yeah.
What are we doing? It's bad, man. There's no player that's going to come in and fix this thing for a quarterback this season.
No.
I mean, at this point, they cut Will Greer. That was a weird one.
Weird timing.
They re-signed him to the practice squad too.
Yeah, so
today.
Obviously no one else wanted him again. I feel like we're just cutting these guys just to see if anybody else will fucking bite, And then, I mean, at this point, I just kind of want to see Malik Cunningham or something different. I can't remember the Patriots throwing more screens. We ran the ball 35 times, and we must have had like 15 to 20 screens. It was the most conservative game plan. And then we threw the ball over 10 yards 6 times, and we were 0 for 6 between the two quarterbacks with a pick. Maybe 2 picks.
2 picks, you said.
Two picks, yeah.
Before the show, yeah.
0 for 6 with 2 picks and
that's unbelievable.
Over 10 yards. I mean, that's
unbelievable.
It is, and it's unbelievable you had a chance to win the game, too.
That's the sad part. Your defense isn't really – your defense is decent. Like, Tommy DeVito is out there fumbling the ball. Jalen Hyatt, though, went for 5 for 109 on us. It's like I know he's a decent player, got drafted this year. He's fast, but like, come on. I mean, they only gave up 10 points. So if that's the sticking point, fine. Barmore had a great game, had just a great rush where he batted down a pass. He continues to be maybe our best player, I think.
Peppers had another great game too.
Peppers is awesome.
Early on.
Yeah, he shows up. I mean, how deflating is it as defense to show up week in, week out, and then I heard a stat that we are the first team in 30 years to lose 2 straight games back to back where you kept the opposing offense to 10 points. So
wow.
And the last people to do it was us in 1993, the Patriots. Funny enough.
Yeah,
that is funny.
40 points in the last 3 games. That's not bad. I mean, like, you would take that, you know?
Yeah, you definitely take that. I mean, you look at our point totals for some of these games. I don't know what happened after Buffalo. I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe Mac hurt himself and that was the end of it. I know he had a little shoulder issue after that, and it's kind of been recurring for a couple years. Not to say that's like an excuse, but I don't know if he got hurt after that game. And then it's just because after that game, we thought that was a turning point. We were very excited about the trajectory. You had 4 layup games in a row.
Yeah.
Where we had so much, we finally had a little momentum, and then it's just gotten worse and worse and worse to the point where we've already fallen off the cliff. Everything's off the rails, smashed, burning. This is like the charcoal remains in week 11. It's only week 11.
I know we still have to go through 6 more of these fucking games. And it started right away. They come out, Pats have the ball, handoff, and then Mac goes back to throw a pass. And he throws the big, I mean, it looks like a Pop Warner pass thrown to Gesicki on the sideline.
Oh my God, what was that?
What am I? And then he did it again and then had the gall to blame Gesicki.
He went up to Gesicki and was like,
and he's like,
it's like, dude,
you ran the wrong. There's
no worst
route.
throw I've ever seen.
There's no route he could have run where that was even a marginally good throw.
Yep. He's 6'7", and he threw it over his head by like 5 feet.
And you threw it 24 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then the thing that hurts me the most is when you see those defensive players, or you see Ramondre really gets me. You see him on the bench and they just have like their head down, or it's like the slowest shaking of the head where they just know. They're like, we got no chance. Are you looking at this player? Like we're just so hamstrung at the quarterback position. It doesn't matter what anybody else can do. They just can't overcome it. I mean, you throw 15, 20 screens in the game, you still throw 3 interceptions. How the fuck does this happen?
I mean, PFF had him with 4 turnover-worthy plays in the first half.
Dude, and that's the thing.
Insane.
He was lucky. Mac was lucky not to have a pick 6 on that one. It was like a little, I don't know, a little dig or out route or something on the sidelines. That guy, if he, the defender, I don't know who it was, but if he read the ball instead of the player, it was a pick 6. He just read the player. He read the player's reaction instead of looking for the ball. If you look for the ball, that was a pick 6, and we were lucky that wasn't picked off. And then there was another one after that too that I forgot.
That was the first
play.
Wasn't that was the first possession they had? They get the delay of game.
Yeah, Adoree Jackson.
He fumbles the snap and the delay of game. They get bailed out, and he almost throws a pick 6.
He's the worst quarterback in the league. I mean, I didn't think we could see worse quarterbacking than Zach Wilson, and I hope to God the kid's hurt and this isn't him now. Something's going on, but this might be him now. I mean, he's over for the Patriots quarterback. I think I'm shocked.
I don't know about that. I think they're still going to have to play him because I mean, I don't know. I just don't know if Zappy's.
But why? Why play him?
The only thing I could say is he might be outplaying everybody else at practice, and he might look good. But the thing is, we've seen enough now that practice is not correlating to the game in terms of what he's doing.
Right.
Well, no, even the practice argument. I mean, they're in shells. Mm-hmm. The kid can't handle a pass rush, and in practice, there's no real threat of a pass rush.
Yeah, he's wearing the red jersey.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you, at a certain point here, like you just said, you gotta move on from who looked better in practice. It's like, what's happening on Sunday? How many times has he been benched this year? 6 times? 5 to 6 times?
I think it's 3 or 4.
No, it's more than 4. It's more than 3.
Is it really?
Dude, it was the Dallas game.
Dallas, New Orleans.
The New Orleans game. It was, let me look at this yesterday.
Yeah.
But he's been he was benched in Indianapolis. 2 minutes left. Benched.
Oh yeah, that's right. 4 times. There you go.
That's 4, and I think there's another one.
No, I don't think so. He didn't get benched against the Commanders.
He didn't get benched against
the Raiders.
When you're down 30,
no.
is it? I guess it is a benching, but it's not.
It's a benching.
Yeah, it's not.
It's still a bench. We're not preserving his health.
The Dallas game, one of those 2 games, we all on record here were like it wasn't his fault, but still. Once you've been benched multiple times, I mean, what does it fucking matter what happened in Dallas in week 4? It's like, whatever.
The thing is, it's working in our favor. We continue to lose games. Bad teams around the league continue to win games. It's
so hard to do this though.
All right. Here's a question. Were either of you rooting for that kick at the end to miss?
No, but I knew it was going to.
You knew it.
I knew there was no way he made that kick. No way.
I was like, I don't want to say happy he missed it, but like kind of relieved. We didn't have to watch. We didn't have to watch any more of it, and it was like not going to be dragged out into overtime. And then the whole thing with the Giants too is they're in the race for a quarterback, and if you want a quarterback, you really don't want that team ahead of you. You know, we've talked about that at length. You know, I mean, there was a couple plays in this game too where like I was getting like animated. The one to uh Demario Douglas on the kick return there.
Oh my
return.
God, yeah.
Yeah, the clothesline.
He gets clothesline. Like I know that's not, you know, the the language of the law probably says that that's okay. In the spirit
but
of the
isn't
rule
there
of, in the spirit of the rule of player safety, to not throw that is a
I know
fucking,
the guy gets
fucking
concussed.
disgrace. Like
Oh, he got destroyed.
and he had a head injury. No shit.
You know, me and we were texting a lot about that during the game, but I got to think, didn't they make a rule change 2 or 3 years ago of no closelining?
I don't.
Didn't that come into play, or am I?
Why did they have to make a rule? Isn't that obvious? No closelining?
Not in the 60s, it wasn't obvious.
Well,
right. Yeah,
you look back at Dick Butkus clips, there's a lot of clotheslines going on.
Yeah,
but
right.
yeah, it looked like it was an extremely violent hit, and it was to the head. And whether or not he became a runner or not, it's so hard on those open field plays where you have 10 guys sprinting at you to be considered a runner, but then to be able to protect your head against all these people with all their limbs coming at you. Right. It's a lot to ask them.
You throw these flags for like guys landing with their weight on the quarterback, and like these dinky you know, he hit me too hard kind of plays for the quarterbacks, but then you see a guy get decapitated and
knocked out of the game.
You know, knocked out of the game.
You don't say anything. It's like, okay.
That was wild. And then there was another one where like I was trying not to laugh because it was so bad. There's a backup lineman in there for Dexter Lawrence, really good player. He's not playing. There's a backup in there, and the backup absolutely manhandles a double team of Strange and Andrews.
Yeah,
through, no problem. I'm like, I was just like, that's the most Patriots 2023 offensive line thing I've seen this year.
They had their moment. They had their moments too. I know Trent Brown didn't start the game. He's still dealing with stuff or whatever. I mean, Demario Douglas seemed to be doing well until he got hurt. I mean, he had 6 receptions for 49 yards. Not bad. Devontae Parker, we saw actual life from him. I don't even know where he's been. But
he's been injured.
He's been injured.
It was the concussion. He had a concussion like a month and a half ago. It was a long road back for him.
It was a long road back for him. And so he showed up, and he actually looked like he had some fire going on that one play. You know, it was only 3 for 42, but that's like the best we're getting these days. Tyquan Thornton really just, you know, he has some dropped passes. They're trying to get him involved. I don't know. Maybe he can't catch, which is the worst thing you can have as a incoming NFL receiver.
It's one of their three tasks as a receiver. The Patriots, they ask you to get open, catch the ball, and block. And you kind of need to be able to do all 3 of those.
Booty had
if you can't catch, Booty had one little screen, you know, got 8 yards with it.
I mean, the other pass he had like 8-yard slant. The ball is like, it's not even, he doesn't even have a chance to catch it. The ball's so shitty and behind him. You know,
I mean, Hunter Henry didn't show up. I mean, I don't know where he was. Pharaoh Brown didn't get any looks. Mike Gesicki has a stat line of 0, 0, 0, 0 and 2 targets. I don't know.
He had no chance.
I don't know what we're doing. I have no idea what we're doing. Maybe this is tanking.
This. I mean, it feels like it. What's weird is, and I mentioned this before the show. We were running the ball well for the second game in a row, really well between the tackles, 2 different running backs, a lot of wham plays, counters, even some leads.
And the offensive line has been blocking well in the run game finally.
Been doing terrific. I mean, we're going at a 4.7-yard clip, and it's not like we're breaking big ones and then getting negative yards. It was a consistent 3 to 7 yards per carry. And then they decide to go away from it. I mean, there's no reason we should have more passes than run plays in this game. This game is there was a total of 17 points scored in this game. It's not a shootout. You don't need to be moving the ball down the field. Just keep handing it off over and over again. And it's the second straight week they keep doing that. And I'm like, I don't know why you would not just run the ball every single time if you're trying to win this game.
Right. I mean, I feel like at least in the first half they were trying to commit to the run, and then Mac Jones just threw up an interception. It's like they finally pass and he throws an interception. So what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Only run it after that. That's what you're supposed to do.
At a certain point, it's a passing league. Like you have to pass.
Yeah.
That drive was all runs and 5 screens on that, and then
one downfield pass,
and then one downfield pass. The instant he tried to pass downfield, he throws it to Okereke. I mean,
what are you supposed to do? You think, oh, he's gonna have one. We're gonna give him one pass and he's gonna throw a pick. I mean, that's the odds of that are pretty unlikely.
Yeah,
not with this quarterback.
Not with this quarterback. I mean, and I keep hearing the argument about Mac Jones that, well, he's good as a rookie season. He had some good plays. He did well. And I think we've hit on it a little bit here. And, they've got the book on him. They kind of figured it out his rookie year. They figured it out last year. And this year it's definitive. He can't throw outside the numbers. And once he has a short field in the red zone, you send a little pressure and he's going to give you the ball. And that's basically all you have to do. Crowd the middle of the field, and he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he's shot. I mean, you can see it. It's pretty easy to see. He's shot.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna. People are, he could have a career somewhere else. I don't think he can.
At this point, I'm just looking for bright spots that I can take. Some optimism
from the rest of the team
moving forward. And say
true.
Like, I want that player on the team next.
Keon White had his first sack. There you go.
White played well.
He had 5 tackles, pretty good.
Against Andrew Thomas, one of them too.
Yeah.
Really good lineman.
Anthony Jennings had a sack and a half. I think he got hurt though.
He came back.
He did come back. Okay, good. Defensively they have pieces, which is nice. It's nice to see that.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Pretty well. Wasn't perfect against a horrible offense, but
one point they were saying on 98.5 that was pretty funny was basically this week, or really, and this is after a bye too. So scoring 7 after a bye is, it's unbelievable. But anyways, this is basically their starting offense. You lost Kendrick Bourne, who's your third receiver.
Yeah.
Outside of that, this is what you went into the season with. And that's the saddest part of the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
This was the plan. And they could only score 7 fucking points.
Yeah. It's gotten worse throughout the year.
It's gotten way worse. So it's gotten worse since Buffalo. We had a small little, up a little peak and then just fell off a cliff, and it hasn't stopped. We haven't stopped
going on behind the scenes.
And there's no signs of it stopping. What do you think's going on behind the scenes? You think they're
some kind of drama?
Doing something on purpose?
Definitely. I don't know.
Kind of drama with Mac Jones. I just don't see how
Bill.
A player can implode to this degree under Bill O'Brien. It's not the worst collection of weapons I've ever seen. It's guys who have been solid players. No one great.
I think it was serviceable.
Yeah. Mediocre at best, sure, but like some of these guys have been pretty good players.
They got no belief in the quarterback.
Yeah,
that's what it is, and that's why I feel like Zappy gives you a little bit.
I don't know if they have any belief in Zappy either, which is kind of why I like Ryan's idea. If you play Malik Cunningham, they're like, at least this is something different.
I'd play Malik Cunningham, not against that either.
I'm against.
I'd bring in fucking Colt McCoy just so it's not as ugly.
Well, you can cut Zappy and get him to the practice squad. No one's taking him.
You're not going to lose him. I don't know why you want to keep him so bad, but
I just can't keep watching these puff passes from Mac Jones. I don't know. It's so awful. It's like the worst type of football to watch. It's like, what 100%. Do you look at?
It's pretty bad. The first year I started watching the Patriots was 92 or 93. 92, I think.
Their worst year ever outside of this one.
And it was like I think they were like 2-14 or something. And that's the year we got Bledsoe.
Yeah.
But like I was just looking through the stats and I'm like, this is like eerily similar to that team.
Almost 30 years ago to the year.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we still got 6 games to watch this team play. I'm actively asking people to schedule social engagements during the game. I'm like, you guys want? A friend asked me if I wanted to have a movie night. I'm like, yeah, make sure you schedule that during the Patriots game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Occupy me so I don't have to watch this stupid team.
This garbage.
Next week, we get to play the Chargers hosting in New England. But before we get there, why don't we talk about some of the games from Week 12? There are actually some decent games in this one, although the Thanksgiving and Black Friday slate it kind of fell flat a little bit. But how awesome was it that you had 3 NFL games Thursday, NFL game Friday, multiple college games Friday? Saturday, you got the biggest college football game of the season so far, Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, that was
Sunday,
awesome. Regular
football, Monday night football. I mean, it's 5 days in a row. You had some game to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out on Thanksgiving, the first game was the best game, and it wasn't a close one. It was just because it was an upset. Packers going into Detroit and handling the Lions right away,
hammering them. They went up really fast,
fast.
20-0, right? They start 20-0, and then Lions scored finally.
First. Yeah, it was quick. Lions did close the gap at the end, but they looked discombobulated in the first half. The Lions did. Jordan Love continues to put a couple good weeks together.
Yeah.
And the Lions have dropped a couple in a short span here, and starting to wonder, is this December Jared Goff starting to kick in right now? Is that what's going on? Even though this game was in a dome, and they're playing in a dome next week against the Saints. But Green Bay is in the thick of things in the playoff hunt right now. They're hosting Kansas City on Sunday Night Football next week. They got a lot to play for.
Yeah.
Especially as we're talking about teams that might want a quarterback.
I think
if they find out over the next month if Jordan Love is looking like he's ready for an extension.
Right.
Playing just well enough to have them
keep him on the line.
Keep him in the building, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. But the Lions, I think, are just going through like kind of a mid-season lull. I still think they're going to be okay. They're just looking at I think their offense is number 2 in the league and their defense is number 10. So that's really good. That's really good. Still 8-3. They'll probably have a couple more division games, I would imagine. I don't have their schedule right in front of me, but that division's pretty weak. So
it's really weak, yeah. And then the next 2 games, Cowboys dominate the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Just domination.
Dominated.
And then the 49ers did the same thing to the Seahawks. Seahawks seem like they're really struggling offensively, particularly in the Niners. Just took a bye week, and boom, they're right back to all cylinders just in time for a great matchup next weekend in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And then Friday, did you guys watch the Black Friday game at all?
I saw the second half, but it was mostly out of hand. I was just had it on.
Did you see the Hail Mary return for a touchdown at the end of the first? End of the first half was crazy. The last 2 minutes.
I missed the end of the first half.
Oh my God. It was like back and forth at the end of the first half. And then I think the Dolphins went for it on 4th down, or they missed the field goal. Somehow they gave the ball back to the Jets with like 2 seconds to go at midfield. And the Jets are like, well, let's throw a Hail Mary. Why not? Because everybody does that. Of course, classic Jets, they throw it, gets picked off, run back 99 yards for a touchdown to end first half.
No way.
Yeah, Javon Holland took it to the house.
Oh my God. Yeah, they have some quarterback issues too, huh?
Oh my God. They're playing a guy that was terrible in college. I think somebody showed me the stats at one point, Tim Boyle at UConn, and he had like a 40% completion rate, or like a one touchdown to 8 interceptions.
That was just a regular benching, right?
For Wilson.
Zach, yeah. They not only was he benched, he was demoted to number 3. They're like, you're not playing anymore.
Yeah, he's in if they should have a blue tent that's just for like mental issues. Yeah. Just like, you got to get your head right.
It's crazy. I've watched him a couple times this year, and like he makes a bunch of shitty plays, but then he'll do something and you're like, what the fuck was that? Like, that was unbelievable.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is the last few weeks he stopped doing those unbelievable random snippets, and it's just been all bad.
Yeah.
Kind of Mac Jones level. I think
he's more salvageable than Mac Jones right now.
He can run. I don't know. They're both so bad. I would probably, at this current moment in time, I would agree with you that if anyone has any chance of anything in the NFL, might be Zach Wilson. Not much, but a little something.
He's got
He's athletic
At
as
least
hell.
he's got the traits. You know what I mean? Like with Mac Jones, you're like, oh, you don't have the traits and your head is destroyed. Like,
Yeah, he's got nothing.
What am I gonna
Nothing
do
going
with
for
you?
him.
You should
Like he's looking to run. He can't run.
And your teammates hate you.
Yeah.
Like he's just an overall negative.
Mac's got
Very
a chance
clear.
to be out of the league, like real soon.
I don't know who would
Yeah.
pick him up. Like
Right.
wherever, if McDaniels lands somewhere, maybe he would.
I mean,
bring him in.
I could see him being a backup just for the fact of like we're talking about with the practice. Like he's a good practice player. He clearly is. You know, like he fooled everyone in the offseason that he was. He looks great in practice, and then eventually the pressure got to him. You know, and he caved. But I mean, for a practice, backup quarterback, that's what they like to see. If he goes to a camp as the third guy, he might be able to beat out some nobody, Trevor Simeon.
Yeah, if he gets his attitude in check, he could be a Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, exactly. And just sit there, and maybe that's what he's destined to be.
Yeah,
not a bad gig, not what he expected, but
he'd be lucky to have a career as long as Brian Hoyer.
Oh my God!
I mean, absolutely. But
Hoyer's made money.
He's been backup.
He's been
Chad
a coach.
Henne type,
Oh, Chad Henne, another good call out. Long career. Chase Daniel,
a really long one. Yeah, Chase Daniel.
Okay. Sunday games. Best game of the day was the Bills and the Eagles. Goes to overtime. Bills had a handle on this game early. Eagles come back. Bills get a touchdown at the end, and the Eagles managed to get. It got real sloppy at the end. The weather. It got so rainy and kind of nasty there. And Jake Elliott hits a ridiculous 59-yard field goal in that rain and that slop. And it was like,
and
one
we
of those,
can't even hit a fucking chip shot. That's the
2
saddest
weeks in
thing.
a row we missed basically an extra point.
Yeah, dude. We didn't even mention Ryland. I mean, what's the deal there? Is he going to be
I don't know.
I don't know. He might be a casualty.
It's a kicker. You took him in the fourth round. My only problem with it is you took him in the
fourth round over talent, and you had Nick Folk, who was like, what? He's missed 2 kicks all year or something.
He's
like
Dallas.
one of the most steady kickers in the league.
Dallas
still,
too. Dallas has a kicker. They just got undrafted free agent. He hasn't missed a kick this year.
Yeah.
So
he's a weird story. He was like, I don't think he played football, and then he was, excuse me, out. He was like 3 years working, and then tried out and made the team.
Is like at the supermarket.
Yeah, he was Kurt Warnering it.
Yeah.
He's got a cool. I think he's like a 28-year-old rookie, but yeah, he's on my fantasy team, crushing it.
There you go.
Brandon Aubrey. But in this game, Jake Elliott sends it to overtime. Also, another game where Josh Allen is untackleable. I mean, he's remarkable with the ball in his hands. It goes to overtime. My favorite part was the coin toss. I haven't heard the audio, but I heard I saw somebody like write down what was said, and it's funny, so I believe it. The Bills win the coin toss. They say they want the ball, and Brandon Graham for the Eagles goes, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
That's awesome.
And sure enough, the Bills get the field goal, and then the Eagles go down, score a touchdown, and win it.
Something was going on with Diggs earlier in the game. Did he get hurt or something? Because I'm like,
they were taking him out on third down.
Yeah, it was weird, right?
So weird. Gabe Davis played well,
and then he ended up having a pretty good game. The Eagles are hot, man, and they haven't even really. That's the scary part. I don't think they've like put their best game out.
Yeah. I mean, it's looks. I mean, they look like the team right now for sure. Nobody's. Yeah. I mean, you look at the standings across the league. These playoff teams, it's pretty sad that the Patriots are this bad. But some of these playoff teams, the AFC picture right now, the Colts are in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
As of today, it's I don't think that's going to end like
Falcons leading their
Falcons
division.
Run their division.
What are they?
You have the Colts,
6?
the Browns, and the Steelers as the goddamn AFC wild card picture.
Eesh.
I mean, the Bills are in the hunt. The Texans are in the hunt. I figure they'll get 2 of those slots. But I mean, it's just what is going on. The league is. I mean, the Browns don't even have a quarterback right now.
I know.
Neither did the Colts. The Colts are on their backup.
They lost DTR too, didn't they?
Yeah, he went down with a concussion.
He went down, and then who?
So
they had someone else. Was it PJ Walker?
I think PJ Walker's their next guy up.
Oh wow, PJ Walker.
It's not going to go great.
Oh, the Bills. Back to the Bills. They had 95 offensive plays.
My God.
Fucking insane,
wow.
dude. You know, I think what we have 60,
We had 65,
65, something like that.
66.
95 is crazy. I don't
It's a lot.
like
Yeah, how do you
even
lose
the
that?
even the Eagles had 66. Like,
Yeah, man, long game, good game. Bills are. I mean, the fact that they could hang in there that much with the Eagles, that says something good about the Bills. The Eagles are just so good at closing. They're just true closers.
yeah.
Mhm.
Next
They are.
game, Jaguars, Texans. Jags were up. Texans were like, I was watching the end of that game, just furiously trying to chuck the ball to get back in that game, unable to do it.
Yeah.
I was rooting for them. They're just an
They're fun to watch.
easy team to root
They're
for.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun team.
They're fun to watch.
Jacksonville is sitting there at 8-3. I can't believe it. Jacksonville is the same record as San Fran.
I know. I feel like they're
Sneaky.
very similar to Miami, where they beat up on bad teams. They find, and then you get a big matchup, and you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be great," and they get destroyed.
Yeah, just don't
Yeah.
even show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have the same feeling about it. The Texans, I keep rooting for the Texans. They're just really fun to watch. I like Stroud.
They're a lot of fun, man.
I like the players they have on defense too. Willie Anderson,
Jalen Petrie, your boy.
Petrie, Derek Stingley. Man, they just got Stingley back. Actually,
Stingley was drafted 3rd overall. Was he that
Yeah.
high?
Yeah,
yeah,
third.
LSU. Yeah,
Crazy. But yeah,
And,
I mean they got a lot of talent. Hey, we called the Texans. Can mark it here. What did we call them in August? That they were going to be a relatively good team, and then Granny shit all over it.
I did. I
mean-
did. I was wrong. I'll take
I
it.
mean Stroud looks fucking awesome, dude.
I mean, it
You know?
showed they're a perfect example of what a good quarterback does for you. When people believe in the quarterback's playing confidently and has the ability. Like, I would have taken at the beginning of this year, I would have taken our weapons over theirs. I would have thought our ensemble of weapons was better than what the Texans have. No doubt. Wouldn't even thought twice about it. Now they look like Tank
look
Dell looks
good.
like an all-star. What's his
Nico Collins.
Nico Collins, the dude Brown over there who has kind of been around for a couple years and just like been killing it.
Robert Woods, Dalton Schultz.
Schultz is playing well.
Singletary. And,
Their running game is still whatever. If they had a good running game, they'd be definitely better. But I mean, all their receiver weapons, Nico Collins and Tank Dell look like all-stars.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They're crushing it.
wouldn't have expected that.
They're still in the thick of things.
Yeah.
6-5, tied with the Colts for the last playoff spot at this point. Next game, the Chiefs and the Raiders. Raiders gave us some hope early there, go out to a 14-0 start, and then that was it.
Yeah.
It was over. The Chiefs figured out their defense, and 31 points later, it's a 2-touchdown victory for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then Sunday night, well, I guess before Sunday night, Carolina against Tennessee. We had some rooting interest in this game because Carolina's sitting there with their 1 win.
Yeah,
Tennessee's not far off either.
Yeah,
Tennessee's got 3 wins.
Yeah,
had 3 wins.
Now they got 4.
Yeah.
Carolina can't protect Bryce Young worth a damn. They can't do shit offensively, and it winds up with Frank Reich getting fired the very next day, which I think it's a good thing. I mean, it wasn't going anywhere with him.
He's the only one that rivals Josh McDaniels as most in-season firings recently, I would think.
He's got 2.
He's got 2
back-to-back years.
Back-to-back week
years.
11s, right?
My God,
week 11 last year too.
I think so.
What does he do on Thanksgiving?
It's hammered. No, but the owner, I guess, came into the locker room and was just F-bombing the shit out of the place, slammed the door, and then I think like 2 a.m. or something, like the news came out that Frank Reich got fired. I mean,
it's bad.
Frank Reich was supposed to be like quarterback,
yeah, literally.
And they are in danger of ruining, I thought, fucking awesome prospect last year, Bryce Young. I mean, that the offensive line is atrocious. The weapons are like Terrace Marshall. Who else they have? Jonathan
DJ Chark.
Don't they have
DJ
Thielen?
Chark, Jonathan Mingo, Thielen. Thielen. It's just not good enough.
No.
Miles Sanders
doesn't get used. He doesn't.
They're
get
the
used
only
at all.
team that's worse than us, and it's unbelievable saying that someone could be worse than us.
Honestly,
they scored 10 points.
Right.
They kind of look better than us right now. Like we.
Well, I mean, Yeah.
We look like the worst team.
Right now, we look like the worst team. But, it's over the course of a season. They haven't had any high points. I don't even remember their win. What was it, week 1 or 2?
I don't know who they can beat. I got to look at their.
I don't think we could beat anyone right now. The team we rolled out fucking Sunday. I don't think we could beat any team in the league. We lost the Giants. The Giants don't have a quarterback. They basically had no offense. They have the worst offense in the league.
See DeVito's celebration? That's pretty good.
DeVito.
It's fantastic.
That's pretty good.
Can't beat it. Yeah, so Carolina remains in the top spot, which means the Bears, have that top draft pick as part of the Bryce Young deal from last year, which is looking worse and worse. When they put that package on the screen, you're like, oh God.
What were you thinking?
The amount of assets.
Just like everybody that's done this before you and traded their entire future away for this one player. Doesn't seem to work.
Damn.
It's a lot. It's a big haul.
But hey, if someone gives us that this year, would you take that or the quarterback?
I'll take the haul anytime.
I'd take that haul.
I'll take the haul. The quarterback thing, it's a coin flip. Every one of them is a coin flip. I was looking back.
Us 3 first rounders. It's like, yep.
So I was looking back at all the quarterback drafts over the last 15 years. There was just some site that had them listed. Real tough. It's real bad. Tough. There's
I agree with you. I know Ryan. I don't know if Ryan does.
I wouldn't take the haul with Belichick calling the shots. It's just gonna be players we fucking cut in 2 years anyway.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's an ugly list when you look at the 15 years of quarterbacks and you're like, oh yeah, fail. Speaking of one of the bright spots, that the Sunday night game, Baltimore against the Chargers, both quarterbacks who were first round picks that hit, mired in quarterback drafts that didn't hit. Both of those guys, Jackson and Herbert. Another game, I didn't think Lamar played especially well.
No.
He was fine. Their running game was so. It was really just like the Chargers are so. They're porous defensively, but they're so limited offensively. They just can't spread the ball around anywhere.
They're very predictable on offense right now. Losing Mike Williams is huge for them. They really don't have that. Gerald Everett's a decent player, but once Eckler's out of the game, it's basically you're going to get Keenan Allen. And I think they targeted him over 15 times or something crazy. It's just very, very predictable. Ravens defense is really good. Kyle Hamilton's really
so
coming
good
on. Some of the players they have, man. Travis Jones, I love the way they draft. Travis Jones from Connecticut absolutely destroyed Zion Johnson on one play. Just across the board though. Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, just players. You know what I mean? Just athletes everywhere.
You see Jason Owe. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. 4.4 speed, 6'5" defensive end.
It's crazy. They're loaded, especially on defense. And then other side of the ball, we get a ton of that RPO shit, Lamar, which is great, but I think he keeps it too often. Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton Mitchell looked good.
He's a stud, man. He might be the fastest back with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Outside of A-Chain.
Outside of A-Chain, yeah.
Then funny, Zay Flowers. You're going to say Zay Flowers?
Oh, yeah.
2 big plays. And the best part about that is the Chargers, who you're saying have nobody to throw to. They took Quentin Nelson right before him. I think it was a pick or 2 right before Zay.
Quentin Johnston, yeah.
Yeah. They're just
brutal, especially he scores 2 touchdowns against you, and it's like, could have had me.
They're so deep.
Classic AJ Brown for the Patriots.
That's it's a really good roster. I don't think it's, got the high end.
Yeah, but sometimes, man, these are the rosters that make it the furthest.
Yeah, they lost Mark Andrews this season. They got Isaiah Lakely in there. He's a really good athlete, man. He tried to hurdle 2 guys. One time he got tackled up around the shoulder pads. He did a cartwheel. It was like, this fucking kid.
That was sick.
Yeah, dude.
I saw that one.
I'm like, holy shit, man, this kid is fucking athletic, dude.
Yeah, and they haven't even got Rashad Bateman going. I don't know what his issue is, but Aguilar's making catches
Aguilar, Beckham.
Beckham looked good. Yeah, they got a lot of talent. I do worry that Mark Andrews being that go-to person, Zay Flowers really has to step up and carry a big share of the load there.
Mhm.
They don't have a good playoff track record. I think they'll have a good seed and they'll win the
It's
division
really
and all
bad
that.
track record recently.
Yeah,
Lamar.
it just hasn't been good. But this year could be different. So the Chargers are going to be coming to New England next week, and I know they only scored 10 points in this game. So that's if they score 10 again, we're in
unattainable
range.
for the Patriots.
And
What do you mean
in-
we're in range?
That's in range. I'm not
I
saying
don't-
it's certainly
I
not
don't know
average.
if it is. Unfortunately, I don't know if it is in range anymore, Sean.
I
We've
know.
scored a combined 13 the last 2 games.
Yeah, it's bad. I do think there is a chance they win this game. The Patriots? There's a chance.
Really?
I'm certainly not predicting it.
Okay.
What was the
Alright.
percentage on that chance?
Oh, I do around 16%.
16.
Okay. All right. I'd say
Very
20. I'd give you a
very
20%.
specific.
Yeah,
Play the
it is.
game.
It's 1 in 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 16% chance. The only way they do it is if they do commit to running the ball 75% of their offensive plays.
Well,
That's
it's
the only
funny
way.
you say that because the Chargers you can run on. They have
Yeah.
no run defense up the middle. So I
The
don't know,
Ravens
maybe
ran
we-
for $197.
Right. Maybe we break a big run or two for a touchdown. It's like, oh, there's your 14 points.
Actually have the worst pass defense in the league.
the
Dude,
Chargers do?
Yeah.
how is that guy employed? How is Brandon
How is
Staley?
that possible? They have
I don't
talent
know.
out there.
I don't get it. I mean, we talk about it every week.
All the
Every
time.
week.
You know,
It's
like,
amazing.
Khalil
Yeah.
Mack had a fucking game last week.
He's so
too, and,
good.
like
He's still nasty. Yeah. Bosa
How are
came
they
off, though.
s-
Bosa got hurt, didn't he?
he's hurt. Yeah.
Bosa's
been-
IR. IR,
He's
yeah.
IR,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It'd be pretty. If he loses to us, he might finally lose his job, Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
Should have
I
happened
think-
so many
I think
times.
losing on the other side of the ball, I think them having to IR Josh Palmer is huge for them too, because
Mhm.
he's been like similar to KJ Osborne.
Oh my
and
God. I was just making
Florida.
that comparison. Yeah.
You know, just a guy that just steps up. Yeah, that's I don't see that we're playing well enough to beat this team, even though I think they're super dysfunctional. The talent is just too much.
Who do we
you know?
start? Who
I
are
would
we
start
starting?
Zappy. I would start Zappy.
John?
Definitely not Mac. Anybody but Mac.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think we have to start Zappy. I think if you know, it's pretty sad that it's so foreign right now for us to even think that it's possible for them to scheme up a couple plays where you can complete passes. I mean, it's the NFL, a passing league where they've designed offenses to be easier to throw downfield, and we have zero confidence they can throw the ball more than 10 yards, not even more than 3 yards, 4 yards, whatever it is. So
Yeah,
I would like to think that this is, they can scheme up some easy passes for Zappy to just complete, hey, here's a slant for you. Here's a really easy in cut where we're drawing the defense away. I don't know if they can do it. I'm not picking them this week. I think I've lost all faith in this team doing anything. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever say that this year while Bill Belichick was coaching the team or Kraft still owned the team or whatever you want to say. This is as bad as it can get.
Mm.
Are they going to stop the bleeding? I don't know. Probably not. Just
I
gonna
mean, the
probably
other thing
bleed
about
out
this
all over
game
the
is
floor.
if the Chargers lose this game, they drop to 4-8. I mean,
mean-
that's unacceptable with some of those players they have over
with
there.
that roster, man.
Yeah,
I mean, they have a much better roster than us. I'll give them. You got to give them that.
dude. I mean, the stars they have on defense, they have like five legitimate stars.
I mean, even
Yeah.
offense. Keenan Allen's better than arguably everyone on our offense. So is
but he's
Justin
better.
Herbert.
He is better than everyone. on our offense.
Easily.
Yeah.
I don't care how
I
old he
mean,
is. He's
Everett's a good player still. The tight end over there. He's
Eckler's
not bad.
better than everyone on our team.
Eckler's
Mhm.
better. They have several weapons that.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Herbert, obviously Herbert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This if I was a betting man, I'd put some money on Asante Samuel for a pick 6 in this game. I think that's a
Ugh.
near lock.
I'd probably take the under. I don't know what the fucking under is, but
34. I don't know.
34. I mean,
No, I'm guessing.
it's
might be.
probably not far off from there. Let's see. Oh, I got the line
It's
right
pretty
here.
sad
Got
that
it pulled up.
this is
It's
the worst-
40. I would hammer the under.
Hammer it.
There's no way we're watching it be an absolute fucking shootout somehow. I'd love a shootout. It's been a long time since I've seen a
We're not going
shootout.
to a shootout, dude.
I'd love a shootout, man. Oh
If
God,
we go
the
to a
days of
shootout, dude,
shootout.
I can't even imagine that we're gonna have Nathan Peterman type pick numbers, dude. Yeah, it's sad. It's the 32nd ranked pass defense in the league, and I just can't see how we could pass on them. You know,
I mean, it's
It's
crazy.
exactly
isn't it?
right. So
It's
true.
crazy. It's gotten this bad.
and then
Yeah.
if we do pass, Khalil Mack is gonna murder someone. You know, like it has gotten better on the offensive line, I think, which is the
I mean,
crazy part.
yeah,
Like
they still have their issues, but it's not perfect. But they have. It's not like week 1 or 2.
it's definitely like a pass pro thing that they just can't figure out stunts, who switches, who stays on their guy. There's a lot of that, and then certain guys just aren't that talented. But they, especially in the run game, they look a lot better the last few weeks, and it's
Right.
sad to say because we're fucking our offense is worse than ever, and you wouldn't know that they were playing slightly better by the
Right.
score.
Absolutely.
Do you think J.C. Jackson throws a punch in this game?
I could see
I hope
it.
so. I would love to see some fight, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Granny, you're. I don't know if I think we were off the show when you mentioned this, but there's no games, no expensive games. It's
There's only
unbelievable.
one. It's
the Eagles Niners.
Eagles Niners is expensive, and the Kansas City Green Bay tickets are going for 106. But
Dude,
other than that, every game is below $80.
The Seahawks Cowboys game is $16.
Yeah, nobody wants
What
to
are
go
they
see the
doing?
games.
That's a pretty good
What are
price.
they doing for fucking revenue sharing? The Falcons at the Jets is $20.
Yeah, it's TV money. TV money drives the league, man.
Oh my God. I mean, the Patriots are still $65.
Who's paying
I mean,
that? Are people paying those prices for real?
I don't
What do you
know.
mean?
I'd go to Cowboys Stadium for $16.
How could you even? I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
like for Patriots, you can't even buy retail tickets. They're
Oh,
What do you
gone.
mean? But right,
It's
no,
gone.
but
It's
right now
probably-
you can
I think
get.
it's on StubHub.
Yeah, it's
You'd
like
ha- you'd have to go through it.
Vivid seats, $60 upper. They're all upper level. Let's see what's
Well,
what's
duh.
You get them secondhand, right?
Yeah, secondhand
I assume so. 183 for good seats.
for good ones. Yeah, yeah, but you can get in the door well under $100, which is unheard of at Gillette
Unheard
Stadium.
of.
Yeah.
Unheard
If you're a season ticket holder and you're down on the team, you should just give up your season tickets. You know what I mean?
Move you right up the list.
That's right. That's right.
Right on up the list.
I'm gonna jump you.
There you go. Yeah, buy low. Buy low. Now's the time. Okay. So this game's going to be dreadful. Why don't we move on to some other games that might be interesting?
We got scores.
I got 20-9 for the Chargers.
Okay.
Still got us in single digits.
I really don't want to pick it, but I'm gonna say 17-6 Chargers.
I'm going blowout. 27-6.
Boom. Yeah. Nobody
Are you-
has us in double digits.
I mean, is there any reason we should? We haven't been
Nope.
able to. It's scoring a touchdown seems impossible right
We
now.
did it once last
It's
week.
not Ramondre. It's nothing. Like
Right. He's your only shot. Maybe Zeke.
Maybe
Maybe.
yeah, it's bad.
Hunter Henry is completely fallen off a cliff. What is happening? Is he hurt?
I
He's
don't
out
know.
there, isn't he?
He's out there a lot. Yeah.
I don't
All
know.
we throw
Like,
is
is
screens. All
Is
we
he
throw is-
given up? Is he completely given up? He's like, don't even throw
What
me
was
the ball. I
that
don't give a fuck.
stupid fucking play where we got Bailey Zappi out at receiver?
Yeah,
we're trying to make him
the
jump
4th
off.
and 1.
And Hunter
He just
Henry
fucking ran it, dude.
calling a hard count. Like, why are we not going for it? By the way,
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Just do it.
Just give him the ball. Give
What do
Hunter
you
Henry the ball.
fucking
At least
have
it's
to
something
lose?
exciting.
we have nothing to lose. Why are we playing? Well, maybe that's
Playing to
to me.
lose.
That's like, if you're not going for it on those scenarios, that's like maybe you are tanking a little.
Maybe
bit.
they are tanking.
little
I mean, it's I
Could
didn't
be.
think we'd get here, but there's evidence pointing towards tank.
It's mounting. It's mounting at this point. Okay, Thursday night, the Seahawks going to Dallas. As we mentioned, those cheap tickets. Seahawks could really use a win right now. Dallas has just been beating the shit out of crappy teams. Yeah, the Seahawks are sitting there in 6th place in the NFC. Cowboys are in 5th place. I just got more faith in the Cowboys against a cruddy
I
team,
agree.
or at least
Yeah.
a mediocre team. They're not going to beat the Eagles. I don't see them beating the Niners, but they're going to beat up on these lower teams.
Look,
Yeah.
the Cowboys usually beat who they're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
Um,
And they play well too. They play really well against bad, worse competition.
Mhm.
When they're punching up, they can't do it.
Yeah, 100%. And then Sunday, the highlight of the weekend and potentially the season: Niners, Eagles, NFC Championship rematch.
425.
See if Brock Purdy's UCL stays intact for this one. We could actually see a quarterback
I know.
be able to play for the Niners. This is what's fun. That is what's fun about this game is we really haven't seen these two teams face off.
Yeah.
Even though they did play in the NFC Championship, it wasn't like a real matchup because of the quarterback issue. I'm leaning Eagles. I think the line leans towards the Niners. I think the Niners are actually favored in this game.
Yeah, for me, this
the
is
Niners are -3. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's just being at home in Philly.
Mhm.
That's the difference right there. I mean, it's a tight matchup. Look at where they're ranked. I think the Niners are first on offense and fourth on defense, and the Eagles are on ninth on defense and fifth on offense. They're just fucking awesome teams, both of them.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this one. We got robbed of it last year when Purdy couldn't throw. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a game.
It's gonna be a good game. I'm looking at the forecast. It's in Philadelphia. It's 51 and raining, so tough conditions. I feel like that favors Philly the way they play football. Jalen Hurts running it, tough physical defense. The Niners had that slide. They've kind of come back from it. They've definitely rebounded, but I don't know. Like you guys are saying, the Eagles are they're firing on all cylinders. They only seem to be getting better. They still have a high ceiling. Like they haven't reached their ceiling yet, which is the scary part. Ryan mentioned that earlier. And this is kind of when teams like that start separating and start finding that ceiling. So I don't know. It's tough to pick against them at home. It really is.
Wow.
That's a
the
grass
sweep for the Eagles.
It's a grass field too in the rain.
Grass field in the rain.
Definitely good call by you looking up at the weather because
it's a big one.
It could be a factor.
Yeah, but you got Debo running that too. His mutter was a mutter.
He was a mutter. He is a mutter.
Yeah.
He's probably the only one on that team, though. I don't know if is McCaffrey hurt or is he not hurt?
No, he's playing.
I saw a video of McCaffrey. I think his wife or girlfriend must have taken it. Just kind of showing like what it's like. He's got his shirt off and he's just like
bruised,
showing his body to his girlfriend or something. And it's like
he's just battered,
bruises and like shit everywhere, man. It's fucking crazy going through that kind of schedule.
My God. Yeah, that's enormous. You got to feel like the Eagles are going to get up for that game, even if they've been coasting through a couple of the other ones. All right, some other game. Why don't we step back to some of the losers, the teams we're rooting for to win because they're bad and they're at the top of the draft.
Yeah.
The Cardinals going to Pittsburgh.
I knew you were going to say Cardinals. I'm picking Arizona in that game, man. Tough one last week, but I think they're kind of on the up. I still think they're on the up after the way they've been. Maybe not so much last week, but the week before, the Rams really kicked the shit out of them. But against the Texans and the Falcons, they looked a lot better. So
they have looked better with Murray in there. I mean, I don't know. The Steelers just have the fucking horseshoe up their ass this season.
James, I think your mic cord may have come out of the jack. There you go.
We're back.
Yeah, you sound like you're out of Terminator.
Yeah.
Really?
Robot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Not that awesome.
Not that
great. Yeah, the Cardinals sitting at 2-10 have the edge in the loss column over the Patriots for that number 2 pick. Really could use a win for them. The Steelers managed to keep pulling these things out. How funny, we didn't even touch on the Steelers game last week. So they fired Matt Canada, and I'm sure you guys know this. Anybody that likes football enough to listen to this podcast probably knows this, but Matt Canada, their offensive coordinator, got fired after like 58 games or something over the last couple of seasons. And over his tenure, they never gained 400 yards of offense. The first game he's gone, they get 400 yards. And the last game before he took over, they had 400 yards.
Jesus. That's insane. That's great.
Am I still robotic?
Yeah,
Oh
you're
yeah, you
awful.
are.
You're
Yeah,
awful.
horrendous. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So they still only scored 16 points. Maybe that's enough to beat the Cardinals. But yeah, I like to think that they got some momentum with Kyler Murray back and playing with nothing to lose.
It's in
So
Pittsburgh,
maybe
right?
it's in
Yeah, it's in
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I know. I wish it was in Zona.
I know. I'm still gonna
Uh,
pick. I'm still gonna pick the Cards.
good for you. Carolina going to Tampa. These divisional games, you never know what could happen. Tampa's not playing as well of late. Tampa's sitting there with only 4 wins themselves, and obviously needing a quarterback because Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, not the long-term answers for those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a chance. It's a chance for Carolina. Not
Yeah.
saying I'm picking it.
I don't know, man.
Nah.
I feel like Tampa's fallen
Decent.
off. For them to
They-
be 4-7, they started off pretty hot, didn't they?
Though they've lost a lot of close games. Like they've been in all those.
They're on like a
It's just-
4-game slide right now,
Right.
right? Or is that?
I think
am I,
so.
Am I
Two. I
misreading?
I think they're on a
2-game slide.
2-game.
2 games.
I mean,
Two
they
games. It was 4 games and they won 1 and then they lost 2. So they're really like.
Yeah, 6 out of 7 they've lost.
Yeah, one of them was to the Colts. I mean, I
Mhm.
don't know, man. I feel like if looking at the Panthers games, the rest of their season, I think they have 4 division games left. So they're gonna have to win at least one of those would be nice.
Well, that division. I mean, I guess as Brady was the only saving grace of that division the past decade.
Falcons
Every
are
other
flying
year.
high at 5-6.
Yeah, it's like every other year a 500 team makes the playoffs from that division as a leader of the division. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
that was a big game last week. The Falcons and Saints.
Wasn't?
Yes.
Yeah, for division.
For that
seeding,
division.
yes.
Yeah,
right,
Falcons
for
moved
seeding.
ahead on that one. So there's a chance. I mean, the Panthers' next games, the rest of their schedule: Buccaneers, Saints, Falcons, Packers, Jaguars, Bucks. So yeah, 4 division games.
Division,
The other 2, Packers and Jaguars, not looking good for the Panthers, but they could steal any of those division games.
yeah, I hope
Mhm.
so.
It could happen.
I hope they steal like 2 or 3.
Next one is Titans and Colts. Titans getting the win last week, moved them a little bit out of the basement up to 4 wins at this point, 4-7.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting 4 wins.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
So we can move the Titans out of the basement dwellers here. Pretty good. I was happy that the Bears won. I was I don't know, I was torn between rooting for the Vikings being here in Minnesota, but then with the Bears winning at the end, I was pretty pleased.
Hilarious. They
Dobbs
couldn't
did
do.
not look good.
Yeah,
That was
he
like-
finally came back down to earth, and
Right.
then Fields. I mean, I only saw the last few minutes. Fields fucking just a hope and a prayer. Couldn't do anything. It was just ugly on offense. And then all of a sudden, he just whips it downfield. DJ Moore's wide open in the soft zone. It's like, oh, okay. And then they kick a field goal and win. It's pretty hilarious.
Pretty fun. Lions at the Saints. Lions could use one. The Saints, I mean, why are they playing Derek Carr? Can anybody explain this to me? Why is he in there instead of Jameis?
Because famous Jameis just throws it 60 yards downfield for interceptions. That's why.
Fantastic. Derek Carr gets into the red zone and then throws the interception. What's the
He's
difference?
not as bad as Mac.
He's not as bad as Mac. That's
I
a
mean,
low bar. Derek
our,
Carr is so bad. There are so many videos circulating of Derek Carr's ineptness in the red zone. They're like multiple 10-minute videos of how bad he is in the red zone.
I mean,
What has happened to quarterbacks this year? Is it offensive lines? I mean, it's
bad
like
across the board. It's been
you know what I
bad.
mean? It's been pretty fucking ugly. It's pretty
Even like
I guess
Mahomes hasn't been like the same as normal.
I know. But even the middle, like there's so many bad quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Well, there's
Usually
a
it's like
a lot of injured quarterbacks.
a lot of injured quarterbacks.
So
dude.
we're
I mean,
seeing backups.
I guess. I mean,
Who's been really good? Lamar.
look at you just named the
Jalen Hurts.
Falcons, the Jets, and the Saints. Can't name a good quarterback between any of those teams.
This is why the MVP this year, I think, is going to be a non-quarterback. Nobody's separating themselves.
I know. Who's going to be, though?
I don't know.
I don't know. Myles Garrett. Can we have a defensive player be an MVP
No, that's
once
not
in a
gonna
while?
happen. That's not going to happen.
Tyreek Hill has been unstoppable.
Tyreek Hill.
Hmm. Tyreek Hill could be the MVP.
Yeah.
Can't that maybe AJ Brown?
He's been great.
He's been good. I don't know if he's been as good as Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
Hurts would win it over AJ Brown. Maybe
True.
Hurts wins it. I don't know.
If he goes on a tear right here to end the season, he could.
Yeah,
Tell you what,
if they're like 15-2.
Yeah.
If Houston finishes this thing in a good spot, you might want to
Could be Stroud.
CJ Stroud. That
Fucking
would be
sneaky.
that would be absolutely bananas for a rookie to win it. I don't
Yeah,
think
they
that's
get
gonna happen, but
Rookie of the Year, MVP. They would definitely get Coach of the Year in that scenario. I think D'Amico Ryans is one of the front runners.
they'll probably
I
just
would
give it
think
to
so.
Mahomes, though. They'll probably just give it to Mahomes. And,
Yeah, just take a chalk
I
bet
hope
on
not.
that one.
Yeah.
Broncos at Texans, a game that in September looked horrendous, is now
Primetime football.
It's
They're
the
both
second
6 and
best.
5 teams.
It's the second best game of the weekend.
Are the Broncos the hottest
Terrible.
team in football right now?
I don't know how.
They might have one of the longest winning streaks going right now.
Basically, what they're doing is what I feel like I expected the Patriots to do. Come out slow, real bad, and then all right, put a couple things together, make a few adjustments, and fix it.
Yeah.
And now the Broncos are in the fucking playoff hunt.
5 straight wins for the Broncos, tied with the Eagles for the longest active streak.
Brutal.
Yeah,
Against some good teams too, like
Yeah.
Kansas City, Buffalo. I don't know what
there-
you guys
right
think
there's
of Minnesota,
enough.
but
That's
but
plenty.
The Browns,
That's
Like,
plenty. That's really good.
they put up 29
Those are all
against the
playoff
Browns.
teams.
They put up 29 against the Browns. Like, they're playing fucking well, and when you actually watch them play, like Russell Wilson had 1 or 2 throws in this game that were like vintage. There was one to the corner of
Yeah.
the end zone where the
They're
tight end
much
caught
less
it, like,
frequent, but
yeah, Jerry Jeudy sucks.
Yep.
Like, I don't know what's going on with him, but
I
Courtland
know.
Sutton and Marvin Mims Marvin Mims needs to play more because Judy's gone. I don't know what the fuck happened to that dude. Good
Yeah.
running game. Javante and P. Ryan, nice players, man.
P. Ryan just won't age. I feel like that guy's better now than he's ever been.
He had a scamper
Is it-
this week,
is-
man. Like
it's
fucking
P.
long
Ryan,
one.
not Perrine.
Yeah, it's P. Ryan.
Oh.
I learned that one when he was at Oklahoma and ran for 300 yards.
He's a big boy.
Stud.
He's a big boy, man. He's a load.
He is. Yeah, he's hard to bring down and great in the passing game. Great feel for it.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun one. I think I'm leaning Broncos just based on how well they're playing right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Texans. I think the Texans are hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Texans, but the Broncos are hot. There's something about the Texans, man. You know.
Yeah,
there is
something
They got a
about
little
them.
special something.
Sunday night, Kansas City traveling to Green Bay. Chiefs have been so. Green Bay's put together a couple wins here as of late.
Yeah.
They're going to be outdoors in Lambeau. Not that the Chiefs aren't a cold weather team. They could certainly handle that. I liked that the Chiefs ran the ball so much last week. It's just they're finding some more balance to that. It's classic Andy Reid to not do that, but
Mhm.
he's finding it right now, and it's getting him through some of these games.
Yep.
I lean towards Kansas City, but I wouldn't be shocked. I would be surprised if the Packers won, but I wouldn't be shocked.
I'd be surprised, but I'm gonna pick the Packers because I don't want to keep picking the damn Chiefs, and I feel like they've, they're 8-3, but they are kind of been on shaky ground all season. It's felt like so. Packers have got a little something.
Yeah, I like the way
Jordan Love looked great. I mean, he looked, when he's on, he can make some really good downfield throws, and he
Yeah,
was
he's
doing it
talented.
last week. I mean, when he's, I don't know what it is. Maybe I haven't seen him enough, but when he's comfortable, like he can make the throws, and they're good throws. So
Packers have been playing pretty good ball the last 4 weeks.
yeah, they have been. They've
beat the
been a little
Rams.
kind of a dark horse.
Lost by 4 to the Steelers, beat the Chargers, beat the Lions. I like him in Green Bay too, so I think I'm gonna go with the upset in this one. Pick the Packers.
Good. Rooting for it. And then Monday night, I bet ESPN thought they were going to have a great game. 2 playoff teams from
Finally.
last year, Bengals and Jags.
Yeah, it's a bummer losing Burrow.
I mean, it just changes so much. It's probably a 10-point swing.
Our picks are gone. Our picks are shot now. Like,
Oh, totally shot. I had the Chargers
I forget
like
who I
in
had. Oh,
in
yeah, you're
the
fucked, yeah.
in the AFC Championship game. Yeah, I mean, we all had the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
Hey,
That's
I'm
over.
getting-
I know.
I'm getting some Bleacher Report notifications though that Staley might get the axe.
Like before the
Before the
game?
game?
No, like
Oh.
in the next week or two. I don't know.
Please don't be before the
I
game
mean,
because then we're gonna get our asses
dude,
kicked.
can
That's
you
always
imagine, can
when
you
you
imagine
fire your
having that
coach,
kinda,
you win the next
Yeah.
game. It's like a thing.
Can you imagine having that kind of job security where you could just fucking do bonehead things after bonehead things and just keep your job?
Yeah. Ron Rivera knows.
Jacksonville's
I don't
got
know.
him
Riverboat
looking forward.
Run.
Yeah. I don't know how he's still got a job, but
They're all
I
picking
mean,
I
Jacksonville,
know.
right?
Dude, the
definitely
freaking
Jacksonville.
the
Definitely.
Bengals. I mean, it's like it's a lot of injuries this year. I mean, I feel like every year we might say it, but this year, a lot of big time injuries across the board. Quarterbacks are going down left and right. And it's not even, I mean, I guess I didn't see the Joe Burrow thing. I don't really remember it. What happened? Was it his hand?
It was his hand. He like got hit by a Clowney and fell a little weird, and then that was it. But allegedly, he might have had a pre-existing injury that it
Right.
aggravated.
Right. That's like a thing now. Yeah. I mean,
Crazy
I don't know. I don't know what they're supposed to do. I just feel like the product across the NFL has been lacking. I know, the Bills Eagles was good last week, but it's like, okay, who's playing the Eagles? Oh, that's a good matchup.
Yeah.
And
Tom
that's
Brady was
like
talking
it.
about that. He's talking
Yeah.
about like the mediocrity in the league. And then also, guys looking for calls, offensive players not protecting themselves and depending on the defensive player to protect them when they go over the middle.
Right.
He had a lot of interesting points in that little snippet. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Yeah, I heard some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, the shortened training camp, preseason, everything's
And
voluntary.
even just practice during the weeks, dude. I mean, what do they practice once or twice and it's in shells?
Yeah.
In high school, we did more than that.
Yep.
Yeah. They only get 20, I think it's 20 padded practices during the course of the regular season.
Right. So I think I think that's what's happening. I do. These guys aren't prepared enough for these games.
There's that.
And you see it. You see mistakes happening now, week 10 and 11, that are like week 1 and 2 mistakes. You don't usually see a lot of 12 men on the field or, just guys dropping the ball, like fumbling snaps and just dumb like football follies,
Yeah.
like bad football follies. You're seeing on a regular basis every week across the league, when a couple years ago it was like a few teams, maybe
Mhm.
by this time. So
I always think back to that story about Rodney Harrison in his first practice, where I forget who the player was. It was someone good, and Harrison just absolutely demolishes him, takes him out in his first practice.
the
And,
quarterback, I think it was Bledsoe.
might have been Bledsoe. It could have been Brady. I don't know.
No,
But,
you can't do that.
Yeah, and the coaches come over and yell at Rodney Harrison, and he tells him to shut the fuck up, old man, or you'll be next. And he's like, dude, just like
Said it to, yeah.
that is gone,
Yeah.
dude. That is gone from the NFL.
I think it was Bledsoe. I think he crushed Bledsoe.
No, they weren't on the team at the same time.
And then I guess
No,
Brewski,
you're right. You're right.
and
It was a quarterback. It was a quarterback.
Brewski and
It was
McGinnis
Brady.
looked at each other like, okay, this guy is fucking legit.
Yeah, we got someone.
Guys, woo.
Yeah,
Watch out for
that's
that
what they
dude.
said. We got one. Yeah, we
We
got
We
got
one.
got one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
it wasn't Bledsoe. You're right. I think it was a quarterback though. I'm pretty sure it was a quarterback. Maybe it was a running back, but I remember that story. That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna
Yeah.
have to go back and find out because it's a great story, man.
It's a good one. He's Rodney Harrison's a finalist for the
For
Hall of Fame. He won't get in.
Same
I think
with
I think he
Vince.
belongs. Vince is a
On the
finalist.
There's
list.
a lot of good players on that list. I was looking at Julius Peppers is on that list. He's
Oh,
got to
he's
be
in.
locked.
He's in.
Yeah, he's first ballot. This is
Yeah.
his first time.
He's got to.
He's gotta be in.
Yeah.
There's
I
a lot
know.
of good players on that.
I think there's like 50, maybe it's 25 semifinalists. And I looked through and I was like, I had 9 locks like right away.
Really?
But a bunch of them have been on the ballot for a couple of years in
Has
a row.
Andre
Like
Johnson
Patrick
been on the-
Willis.
Why is it Andre Johnson not in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. Andre Johnson and Patrick Willis, and I was like, why are these guys waiting around
Patrick Willis. Is
Yeah.
he? How long has he been retired?
for like 10 years?
Yeah, decade.
Has
Patrick
been
Willis
that long?
retired when he was 30.
Yeah,
Man,
it was a while
he
ago. It was
was-
late 2000s.
He was the
early
best linebacker in
2010s.
football for 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those guys that are like,
Torrey Holt,
how
I
are
saw
they
in there.
not in? Torrey Holt's on the list.
He's been up for a few years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I saw Willie Anderson, the tackle.
Yep.
on there. I mean,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
for him to not be in, that's crazy.
I mean, was it Alan Faneca? I don't. There was a guard there that I was really surprised wasn't already in.
Jari Evans.
Jari Evans, that's who it was. Yeah, it's like
he's
Jari Evans is a
fucking
lock.
great player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's still pretty recent, right? Didn't
He's
he retire not too
I
long
think
ago?
so. Yeah.
not that long ago. Yeah, he played for a while. Yeah, it's I don't expect Patriots to get much love. I was very happy Richard Seymour got in. That was well deserved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, but when you look at Rodney Harrison, I mean, yeah, you consider him a Patriot. He had like 8 great seasons in San Diego.
Yeah.
Right,
They thought he was washed. That's why
he should
nobody signed him.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. It's just he had such a bad rep that no one wants to put him in.
Exactly. That's precisely
one
it.
guy who's been on there for a long time. Eric Allen.
Yeah,
Oh,
EA
the running back.
cornerback.
No, the old cornerback. Was it Philly?
Oh, okay.
Philly, he played for the Raiders, is who I remember him because he was on those Rich Gannon teams. For the
Corner's
Raiders.
a tough one, man. I feel like it's tough to make the.
You got to be locked down, or you have to get a ton of picks.
You have to be like the best for 5 years.
Yeah,
like
Ty Law,
outright.
Bailey,
Yeah,
Woodson,
like Revis,
Sanders,
Ty Law,
Daryl Green.
yeah,
you know,
Rod Woodson.
It's a tough list.
Woodson was great. Even when he moved to safety, he was great, dude.
Rod Woodson, first ballot. God, I love that dude. Playing Madden 95 with Rod Woodson. Used to put him in on offense.
Is Darren Woodson in?
No, he's one of the semifinalists.
I would put him in, man. I don't know when, but he's got to get put in. They get tired of Cowboys. They look at those Cowboys teams from the 90s. They're like, how are we going to put the whole squad in? Yeah, they were loaded.
Yeah.
All right. Week 13, we do still have buys happening. 6 teams on the bye this week: Bills, Bears, Raiders, Vikings, Giants, Ravens. So that's why we got a condensed slate for this weekend. Mm-hmm. I'm glad they didn't do that for Thanksgiving weekend, really pack them in there. But I think there's still some more to come. The Cardinals still have to have theirs, and they'll have to have at least one other team on the bye. But we're getting through it. We're getting right down to playoff time. I know it's not happening in New England, but it's happening elsewhere around the league. I mean, you look at the AFC standings like we touched on before. There's like 11 teams that are within a game of being in the playoffs.
Because everyone's mediocre. Everyone's floating at 500. Sucks.
But it's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows how it's going to shake out.
Yeah, people will separate eventually, but yeah. It'll be exciting.
Pretty good. Okay. That'll wrap it up for us here. Thank you all for listening. Please remember to like and subscribe to the videos, rate and review the podcast. Appreciate you listening and sticking with us through the season. Hey, look forward to some off-season podcasts. Are going to be epic this year.
Yeah,
literally. One of the biggest days, and I would argue maybe the biggest day in Patriots draft history coming up.
Yeah.
Not to mention 85 million to spend in free agency next year.
It's a huge offseason. And then what are we gonna do at coach? It's just there's a lot of storylines. What are we gonna do with Mac Jones? It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. Tons of upheaval, opportunity, plenty of things to speculate on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll do it for us. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. See ya.
Adios.